like to welcome everyone back. We've been on a short summer break, so it's good to be back in the routine of our Thursday morning City Council meetings. Welcome. We have, I can see by the Zoom screen that all of our council is present this morning. So welcome to the City Council study session for the morning of Thursday, August the 20th. The first item on our agenda for this meeting is to review the items on the agenda for our Monday meeting on August the 24th. So council, if you would please refer to that document. Currently, there is nothing off of the consent agenda. It's a rather long agenda given that we've been off for a month, and so a few things have accumulated. Council, to begin with, yes, Mr. Thompson.
Mayor, I had a quick question on item 4L and 4N. And this goes back to our previous colleague, Alex Fenter. One of his pet peeves was the fact that PD and fire couldn't communicate with each other without going through dispatch. Are we getting farther away from that, or are we starting to close that gap to be able for our public safety departments to be able to communicate with each other via radio?
Okay, thank you. Mr. Brady, do you have Chief Camelli or
no,
someone?
This is really our radio folks, but I'm not aware that we're doing anything to be separated. Really the discussion back at the time was whether there was a system that was kind of the broader digital system, and there was a system on the ground that allowed more effective communication in buildings. And I think all of this is just upgrading existing equipment. These decisions are not just being made by Mesa PD and Mesa Fire, but we are part of a regional communications group, cooperative. And so all of those are coming together to make these decisions. So it appears to me that we are upgrading equipment that is probably past its life cycle. I know that these, it talks about the VHF radio systems. Those are the systems that my understanding are the ones that are critical to fire, especially when they're inside of buildings to make sure they can still communicate. So I don't think there's anything in here, I'll confirm, but I don't think there's anything in here that would suggest we're going further apart from our public safety communications.
Mr. Brady, this is Mary. Can you hear me? Can you guys hear me?
We've got Mary Camelli on the line, Chris, is that right?
Sounds
Yes.
like it.
Yes, yeah, what Mr. Brady's saying is exactly right. That is really just to enhance the communication that we already have. And VHS is so you have better communication inside buildings.
Okay, so this is just really the equipment, not any software or anything like that that would be needed to kind of close that gap and allow PD and fire to communicate?
That's correct. We're still communicating like we do.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Council, other questions regarding Monday's agenda? Yes, Councilmember Duff.
Yes, I wanted to check in on items 4B and 4C about the library supplies and medias. And just, I don't know if Heather is with us this morning, just to see how the checkouts have been going, the utilization of the curbside pickup. We have a couple of items here just under cumulatively about what, that's $800,000. Just if we need to spend that money on the library this year, perhaps we do. I certainly support the library and their services for our community, but I just wanted to check in considering that we're still closed.
Good morning, Council, Mayor, and Councilmember Duff. This is Heather Wolf from the library. These are our contract renewals. You're correct, it's about $800,000 of our budget. If you look, the majority of that, those three contracts is being spent on our digital, which can be checked out even though the buildings are closed. And our park and pickup has been incredibly successful. We have checked out physically over 50,000 items just since mid-May. Excuse me, I should have drank the water before I came over here. So we do feel strongly that we do need to continue to purchase materials. We are paying very close attention to what is being checked out and modifying purchases, like I said, to direct more things to digital purchases while our physical buildings are closed. Oh, thank you.
Thank you very much, Heather. I'm so glad that the curbside and the digital checkouts have been successful. So thank you to you and your team to being able to carry out that task with the doors closed but having it available curbside. So thank you.
Well, and Heather, you should talk about, I mean, you guys have a strong presence on social media too. So in addition to just checking things out, what the programming, the readings and everything you're doing on social media is pretty impressive also.
Thank you, City Manager. So yes, we're doing virtual programming. People are participating in programming. People, our summer reading program numbers were down a little bit, but actually not as much as we expected. So people did participate online. Some of our summer reading programs, we had a minimum of 200 people in attendance, up to 600 people in attendance online. So those were fantastic numbers, and we actually couldn't have gotten that many people in the building. Chief Camelli might have had something to say about that. So anyways, we are very much reaching out to our community, and we are trying to find every way we can to continue to serve the community in a safe and healthy way.
Thank you for the review.
Well, let me just add to Councilmember Duff's comments. Heather, I know the Mesa Library's been very heavily utilized by my family during the last couple of months. The digital assets and the park and pickup program. And I think there's a lot of Mesa families right now, it's still when we're doing remote learning with our schools that are anxious to use the Mesa Public Library maybe more than they have traditionally in the past. So I'm proud of the way that the library has responded in this peculiar situation and really filled a need in the community. So thank you.
Thank you.
Council, other questions regarding agenda items? Yes, Mr. Thompson.
Mayor, item 6A, and I think Manager Brady was going to bring this up too. 6A, we're going to remove from the agenda altogether. The community decided they did not want to move forward with this.
So, Councilman Thompson, I believe we were, is it 6A or is it 7A? 7A, let me check, let me just check with RJ real quick. Which one is it, RJ? It may be both.
Well, I think 7A is increasing the speed limit on Signal Butte from 40 to 45 from Guadalupe to Elliott.
That's correct.
6A is the piece for
Okay, so
Guadalupe.
you're right. So
Signal Butte.
thank you for, actually, I thank you because you would have corrected me because I was on 7A, but you're right.
It is 6A.
6A is the one item that we'll be removing from the agenda. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. 6A is removed from the agenda. Mr. Freeman.
Yes, 4I, that's the purchase of the N95 masks. I just want to make sure we have enough for all the city departments when we procure these through our purchase agreements. So Chris, are we good with getting those out to all the departments, and how are we doing in that arena?
Well, let me clarify first. As far as the N95s, we're only providing those for public safety. And so we continue to acquire those. I'll let Mary talk to those. I think we're now establishing our inventory on those. Masks similar to the ones I have, that I'm trying to use right now, we have ordered 1 million of those that we have in the warehouse and that we are now distributing to the community, to businesses, and to city employees. So as far as the surgical mask, we have 1 million of those. We think that'll suffice for some period of time. On the N95s, I don't know, Mary, if you can weigh back in on that. I know that we have enough, but for right now, the question is, I think we're trying to figure out how many we need to always have in the warehouse for the future. So I don't know if Mary can weigh in on that.
Sure. Thank you, Mr. Brady. Mayor, Council, and Vice Mayor Freeman, we do have enough. Our burn rate for the N95s is doing well. We're monitoring that daily, and we have enough for at least a month and a half out for right now. So we try and make sure we have at least a month out, and we're doing well in that arena right now.
Okay, so the way it's described that N95s would be necessary not only for public safety, but also other departments as needed. So I just wanted to make sure that
Yeah.
if needed, other departments had access to N95s for.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm not,
So-
yeah, thank you for bringing that. I'm not aware of too many other departments where we have the need for N95. We've encouraged them to use these other masks, but there may be some in some of our frontline staff that are doing the N95s, but most of them we're encouraging to use the surgical mask.
Got it. Thank you. That's it.
Mr. Brady, you mentioned the surgical masks, and you're doing a great job of modeling that.
I'm trying.
And I know we've obviously bought a lot more than Mesa City government probably needs. So do we have a policy as far as making those masks available to the general public, businesses or church groups or people that might want some assistance in getting masks?
Thank you, Mayor. So right now, the first groups that we've identified is certainly on the business side. We are, all the businesses that have participated in our grant program or the technical assistance, we're offering them access to the mask. I think Jay put in an order just this week for several thousand of those that are going to go out to businesses that have expressed an interest in those. We're working with some of our nonprofits on the citizens, but also every week on Friday when we do the food distribution, we're also placing, is it 16, sorry. You can't hear either. 16 masks with each food box that we're putting out every, on Fridays. So, but to your point, Mayor, that's kind of how we started. We're now, I know we've had some conversations with New Leaf, and so we want to help nonprofits. And like you said, if there are churches that have some need of those, to contact our office, and we'll work with getting those distributed. Our goal is to get them out into the community. So we're just trying to find the best way to inform groups that can distribute them in a broad way. But we're trying maybe not as much to be doing it per individual, but if there are agencies, nonprofits that can receive those and demonstrate to us that they truly can get those distributed into our community, we're going to do that. Mayor, as you know, we've had some conversations about doing some strategic outreach into some of our zip codes where we're seeing the highest infection rates. And as we go into those areas, as we now begin to identify the locations and the dates that we're going to be able to be in those zip codes and find the locations, our goal is to also make that a significant part of our outreach, is also the distribution of masks.
Great. So I think it's good for us to kind of put the word out in the community that if there are groups or that need masks, the city of Mesa can perhaps play a role in solving that problem.
Yep.
Mr. Thompson.
Yeah, just to follow up with what Chief Camelli says, she was talking about the burn rate on the M95s. Chief, what's our current burn rate, and are the masks being used by both sides of public safety as a one and done type mask, or are they reusing?
Mayor, Councilmember Thompson. So our burn rate right now, because we also have P100s out there, and that's the mask that you could use over and over again, and we change the cartridge on them after 3 months. We have more of our firefighters right now, I don't know about more, but at least half of our firefighters are using the P100s, which is saving us on the N95. So our burn rate right now is about, the last report we got was about 100 a day. We were at 200 a day until they switched over to using the P100s. And so, yeah, if public safety, for PD as well, they have the N95s, but they're wearing surgical masks. It depends on their environment, but they can use either one. And when they need them, we have that available for PD as well. So we track them very, very closely to ensure we have enough on hand. But for PD and fire, they use them, and we're kind of saving the burn rate on the N95s because we are using the P100s.
Perfect. Thank you, Chief.
Thank you, Council. Other questions or information you might want regarding anything on our agenda for Monday? Okay, I think we might have covered it. Moving on then, the next item on our agenda for this meeting is to acknowledge receipt of minutes of various boards and committees. Council, is there a motion to that effect? Thank you, Mr. Thompson, seconded by Mr. Freeman. We need to unmute our microphones and probably go through a roll call vote. So, Mr. Freeman, how do you vote?
Aye.
Thank you. Councilmember Whitaker.
Aye.
Thank you. Councilmember Heredia.
Aye.
Thank you. Councilmember Duff.
Aye.
Thank you. Councilmember Luna.
Aye.
Thank you. Councilmember Thompson.
Aye.
Thank you. And I vote aye as well, so that passes unanimously. The next item on our agenda, item 3, is current event summary, including meetings and conferences attended. I know we've been off for several weeks, and I know each of you has been very busy, so I know we've got a lot to perhaps share. Who would like to begin? Thank you. Mr. Luna.
Good morning, Mayor. It's good to see everybody. Welcome back to our City Council study sessions. We did have a 6-week break, but it didn't appear for me anyway. I was extremely busy with a lot of national meetings as well as some local ones. Then I've attended several of the National League of Cities meetings that they've convened. In addition to that, the Hispanic elected local officials convened several meetings, and so that kept me busy throughout the summer. Also attended meetings for the National Association of Latino Elected Officials. We had several meetings throughout the summer. It was involved in many Mesa Care activities, and that kept me busy as well. The food collection over at the Red Mountain Community Center, as well as appearing on Channel 15, speaking about the program. I do want to say it was Tuesday that the team videotaped me over at Alvarado Electric. Mayor, you were fortunate to be there, where we handed the owner, Mr. Alvarado, a check as a result of the Mesa Cares program for $6,000. So I want to thank Economic Development. We gave over, I know that 515 businesses were awarded some of the Mesa Care dollars, and I think it was $4.37 million was given to our small businesses in the city of Mesa. So I want to thank Jay O'Donnell and the Economic Development team, City of Mesa, for doing an outstanding job for that. Also wanted to highlight that Amazon is going to be in District 5 in the City of Mesa. That was a great announcement. I want to thank our Economic Development team for putting that together, landing that opportunity for the city. That's 600 jobs in the Falcon District, so we're very excited about that. Continue to be very busy in the community, doing some great things. I did a presentation yesterday for a new leaf relative to what the outlook is for the City of Mesa and support for that organization. Just continue to be really busy with canned food drives and those kind of activities. That concludes my presentation.
Thank you, Mr. Luna. Council, who else has, let's go with Councilmember Duff.
Yes, good morning and welcome back everybody after having a break. Of course, the summer has been very busy with everything that we have going on in our city and addressing the pandemic, as well as attending so many webinars addressing housing and transportation and public safety and how we can transform our city to address the challenges that we have now. So the summer has been very busy doing that. I'm particularly focused on naturally affordable housing, things that we can transition to address the evictions that are anticipated in the upcoming months and keep people in their housing. So I'm working hard on that. Last night, Historic Preservation had a community open house, virtually, of course. We had 60 members that attended. They're interested in historic preservation or in transforming their neighborhood into historic or from those neighborhoods. So I'm excited about what we will be doing in historic preservation for our city over this next year. Of course, downtown, even though things have been quiet, overall in the economy, downtown is still reemerging and redeveloping. ASU just poured the first floor And you can see it if you drive by, and then that's been exciting to see it build over the summer and come into reality. We've had some new restaurants that we've enjoyed, and there's a new mural. So there's still things going on in downtown. And as far as development, we don't see a slowdown. So I know as we get through all of the economic turndown and come out of it, a lot of what we're doing will be ready to go back to business. Of course, to help the small businesses that are struggling now, we run our CARES monies, and we've been giving out the checks, and that has been a really rewarding way to see our businesses being able to get through this with the assistance of the city. As Councilmember Luna mentioned, our Economic Development Department, Jay O'Donnell leading the charge, has done a phenomenal job in creating the programs for the financial assistance and now the technical assistance. And there's some more things coming up that she has organized. So we're continuing to support our businesses the best that we can. I'm continuing my community conversations, which is an online weekly conversation with the community, whatever you would like to talk about. Of course, I will have updates on city events and the district events, but just talking about whatever everybody is concerned about. And to that, today at 4 o'clock, you have to register in advance to receive the Zoom link, and I hope to see everybody then. Of course, and NLC, been busy with the conferences there, and Youth Education and Families Committee, the Women in Municipal Government Committee, and the Energy, Environment, and Natural Resources Committee. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilmember Duff. Mr. Thompson.
Yeah, much like Councilmember Luna, we had quite a few NLC meetings, as well as our Community and Economic Development Committee meeting that I chair with NLC. So we've had a couple of meetings there, Board of Directors meeting as well. And then Mayor, you and I presented the check to Red Rooster Consignment in the district, and I would say they were overwhelmingly happy that they were able to put those direct dollars to good use. We saw the recent announcement on CMC Triple M expansion out at CMC Steel. That's a great addition to the district and to the region. Brings another 500 jobs in. I believe today we're going to be making another announcement for another phase of the landmark project out on Ray Road, which is exciting. Another spec, industrial Class A spec building that's going to be going up. And I had a lunch mob 2 days ago. I lose track of my days. Lunch mob with the Mesa Chamber of Commerce. We had a little over 32 people or so that were in attendance, but it was an opportunity for me to highlight the activities that's going on in District 6 and so forth. And I think it was very well received. So, thank you.
Thank you, Councilmember Thompson. Others? Yes, Mr. Freeman.
Thank you, Mayor. Along with the other council members, been involved with NLC and webinars, especially on the county side, keeping track of the COVID numbers and how it's affecting not only Maricopa County, but our area, East Valley. Also, our food banks, I wanted to bring them up. United Food Bank, they are just doing an awesome job. They're giving out food, Wednesdays and Fridays, and the line is still there. I mean, people still need food support, and I'm just proud that as a city, we've partnered with United Food Bank, and they're doing just a phenomenal job. And the volunteers that do it, our hats should be off to them. I've been out there with them, and it's hot, it's sweaty, it's not comfortable, and so kudos to them. I was able to participate a couple days ago, the Mesa Special Project Open House. Christine and Nana were able, with staff, did an awesome job. They talked about the general plan and code amendments. I think Councilmember Duff was on the call with us. And that was, some of the updates that need to be done to our code. And I'm glad as the departments that we're proactive and looking forward what needs to be done to utilize development guidelines in our community and looking at it not only regionally, but nationally. Then again, with Councilmember Duff, I got to attend the Historic Preservation meeting last night, and great turnout, great discussion. Look forward to our Historic Preservation Board moving forward and helping with the guidelines. We got some excellent people on that board, and they're committed. So I'll end with that. I'm just grateful to be involved, and thankful for this time.
Thank you, Vice Mayor Freeman. Mr. Heredia.
Yeah, I think, Chairman, like the other council members, you know, a lot of Zoom meetings, a lot of conversations with small businesses and restaurants here in District 3. Also with me being the chair of the Valley Metro Rail Board, I've had opportunities to discuss transit opportunities in Mesa and our region, both locally and nationally, through various different communications with other regions. So that's been exciting. Also, just want to update folks in District 3. We do have demolition going on the old Dobson Inn. So buildings are coming down there. So if you live in that area along Dobson and the 60, you'll see some demolition activity happening at that site. And then also last week, some of the payment was coming out of the old Grace property on Southern and Alma School. And so demolition over the next several months will be happening there. There's been inspecting of the buildings, making sure that it's safe. So you'll see much more activity coming on as far as demoing on both the old Dobson Inn and the old Grace property on Alma School and Southern. So which is great news for us to eliminate two of the one more blighted properties that have been here in West Mesa. And so looking for moving on progress there in the next couple months.
Thank you, Mr. Reddy. I know we'll all give three. We see the demo at Alma School in Southern, won't we? So we're looking forward to that. Any other comments on the summer break?
Mayor, if I could just add, I'd be remiss if I didn't add the Union, one of our largest Class A office space complexes. The glass is going on the building. So, I mean, they are getting after it over there at Riverview, and just proud to have them. That'll be a showcase for the northwestern part of Mesa that Councilmember Heredia and I share.
Thank you, Mr. Freeman. The beam raising occurred before the break, didn't it? I mean, that was a great event for us all to participate in and get the opportunity to sign the beam that went up at the top of that building. That's really going to be an iconic building in Mesa for generations to come. That was beautiful. And as depicted right behind you there, Mr. Freeman, thank you. Well, I just want to say amen to what the council has said a moment ago. I've had the privilege of participating in a lot of the events that they have mentioned. One event that I want to give maybe a little extra emphasis to is I was able to go and participate in a COVID test earlier, just about less than a week ago. And the reason I did that was not because I thought that I was at risk of testing positive, but really to make the point that we're now at the point with this disease where we want to encourage everyone to please go get a test. And the reason for that is in order for us to do contact tracing and to get out ahead of this illness, we really have to have more testing being done. And approximately half of the people that are walking around today, with COVID are pre-symptomatic or asymptomatic. So we're not going to be able to lower the positivity results and to do contact tracing and to do the things we need to do to really have an impact in reducing the spread of the virus in our city unless we utilize the testing resources that are available to us more than we are now. As you drive around Mesa, you see there's a lot of testing facilities in our city, and they're very often you'll see that there's zero or no wait at those facilities. So my experience was I made an appointment. I mean, you do need to call in advance, but I did that and then drove into the facility at Mesa Community College and in the parking lot there. It took probably 5 minutes, and less than 48 hours later, I had my results back. They were negative. It was not at all painful. It was not at all taxing in terms of finances or time. It was the test that I opted for was no, zero out of pocket, whether I had insurance or not. I just hope we can help the members of our community know that this is something that we encourage them to do. There's no reason not to get tested, and there's a lot of reasons to get tested. So, and I think you heard Mr. Brady mention earlier, I think that the city is interested in exploring with the council the possibility of playing a heightened role in taking testing to some of the areas of our community that are most at risk. And as Mr. Brady indicated, bringing food boxes and other resources to help incentivize people to engage in testing. So I'm looking forward to having that discussion with the council with the council's permission, perhaps increasing the city's role in encouraging testing in our community. As was indicated, it's been fun to be involved in these check presentations to some of our small businesses over the last few weeks. Councilmember Duff and I were at and I want to talk about one in particular. We were at Dixon's Jewelers, and a wonderful business in the heart of our downtown. They were very appreciative for the help that they got on rent and utilities, but then they went on to talk about the Small Business Technical Assistance Program. And they said, yes, we appreciated the money we got for rent and utilities, but we signed up for the other program and got, went through some seminars on how to list our business in a better way on Google and whatnot. And within days, we had a noticeable uptick in our business. There was, particularly one customer that walked in directly tied to that program that spent several $1,000s. So I hope that our businesses, particularly the small businesses in our community, are aware of the technical assistance program that's part of the Mesa Cares program. Please take advantage of it, whether you think you need to or not. There's some very valuable resources there that I think nearly every business in our community can benefit from. I was honored to participate in a bridge forum a couple of weeks ago, and this was done out at the Mesa Sheraton, particularly aimed at strengthening the relationship between our public safety department, our police department, and the African American community. Appreciate the very inspiring stories that we heard from City of Mesa employees and administrators and members of the African American community in the City of Mesa. Appreciate the great work that was done by the Bridge Forum. Also, I was honored to participate in the Korean Liberation Day event that was done out at the Asiana Market in Frankie's district. And I would encourage, through the end of this week, there's a beautiful display that commemorating the 75th anniversary of the creation of the Republic of Korea in the lobby or the atrium of that shopping center that I think, and it's only available through the end of the week, and I encourage people to participate and go see that. I want to do a quick plug for the Mesa United Way. They're having through Friday, you can register for a virtual 5K run. It's a fundraiser for them. It should be a lot of fun. I understand they're having good success, but that's a great way for us to help raise money for the Mesa United Way. And then I just joined with Mr. Luna and Mr. Thompson in celebrating a couple of really substantial business expansions in our community. The arrival of the huge Amazon facility immediately next to Boeing, and the expansion at CMC Steel. Together, that's hundreds of millions of dollars of new construction and investment in our community, and over 1,000 jobs. So during the economic downturn tied to COVID, it's really encouraging to see that we continue to score some large economic development wins. So that's very encouraging to see. another fun business that opened during the break that I was pleased to go with Councilmember Duff to Tacos Chihuas. Am I saying that right, Jen? A great, family-owned business in the heart of downtown. The food was amazing, and I think it's really going to be a wonderful addition to our downtown culinary scene, and encourage everyone to go. I promise you won't be disappointed. And then the final thing I just wanted to highlight was Mr. Freeman a moment ago talked about how our food distribution programs continue to be very utilized and appreciated in the community. Both the weekly program at the Mesa Convention Center, but also at House of Refuge. And appreciate the volunteers, as Mr. Freeman mentioned, that are making those programs happen, and the great partnership with both United Food Bank and Midwest Food Bank that the city has to fund and to operate those operations. So I know we continue to see food insecurity in our community tied to COVID and the economic downturn that's resulted from that. So it's heartwarming to see the way our community has responded, and I'm proud of the role that the city's playing in supporting those organizations and making those events happen. I'm sorry. So that's my 2 cents for the summer break. Council, is there anything else before we go on to our schedule of meetings? If there isn't anything, Mr. Brady, what is now that we're battle? What's our schedule look like?
All right, thank you, Mayor. So our next study session and council meeting will be on August 24th, and then we'll repeat it again on the 31st. So we'll see you on Monday.
Great, thank you very much. Council, is there a motion to adjourn this meeting? Thank you, Mr. Luna, seconded by Mr. Thompson. Please unmute your microphones. All in favor of adjournment, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Thank you. Any opposed? Thank you. We are adjourned.